IP family? It's your boy L, APA, coming through with another video. You guys already know what it is. Appreciate you guys tapping in. And, as you could tell with a good old caption, that uña, that thumbnail, we're going to talk about a dude from King Cobras, man. Triggered. And this one right here, man, it took me a few days to kind of get my thoughts together uh, in order to do it because, a lot of these stories kind of hit close to home. Not because I haven't been through it, but because this is like, it's crazy how you run into people, as you will see in this video, and as you've seen through others, that you wonder where some people ended up, or you run into them after they've done some things. And this one would kind of be like the epitome of that. So here we go, man. Triggered from King Cobras. He wasn't from the King Cobras from Los. He was in King Cobra, a branch from LA down in Orange County. And before I go on with that, let me say one thing. Those of us in Orange County, man, I know probably some dudes are going to take offense to this. And I don't mean to disrespect anybody or for them to take offense, but if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Those of us from the city, and I'm talking about growing up in the neighborhood, righteous neighborhoods, barrios, down to the street gangs, righteous neighborhoods. We never like taggers, party crews turn gang, or even branches from other neighborhoods, from other cities that started a gang in our city. I'm going to retell a story with a lot more details later on. I did a short video on it a long ass time ago. This time around, I'm going to do, it has to do with the 18 streeters, but I'm gonna express a story that's at least double the time with a lot more details, having gotten in contact with some of my homeboys and things like that. When 18th Street try to start a branch in Santa Ana, they ended up starting a branch in Orange County, not in Santana. Dudes from Santa Ana, bro, we just feel a different way. We were a different breed, and whether it hurts somebody or not, it hurts them. It doesn't matter. But furthermore, like I said, dudes from Orange County do not take kindly to dudes that are from branches from other counties. It's just like us starting Logan Park, Logan Street in East LA, or anywhere in LA. It's like they would have want us there. Any neighborhood that originated in Orange County, in Santana especially, they wouldn't want us there. It's the same correlation, same difference. So this dude Trigger, I digress. This dude Trigger from King Cobras, I guess he was from that branch from King Cobras, and I'm gonna take you all the way to SADF again, New Corcoran, years after I left. So yeah, this dude's on the yard, and somewhere along the way, this dude gets into it with the placas, and he puts salsa on the tacos. He tries to get some fatty out of it. He got an altercation with the placas, with the COs, and which led him to be in a wheelchair, incapacitated. Well, this dude wasn't incapacitated. He was just trying to get a lawsuit, going to law library, things like that. So he had a handicap cell, things like that, wheelchair, what have you. And any of you guys that know, but if you don't, anywhere in prison, especially on a 180, 3-yard, anywhere, they know that especially anybody that has a wheelchair has certain privileges. They can't search you like they do other convicts. So let's just say, especially on a 180, that's what I meant. You go out to yard, you can't bring out fierros unless you get them out there to the yard crew or whatnot. We find our ways, because they strip us down asshole naked, squat and cough, bend over, squat, nutsack lift, everything, bro. Open them out, all that. That's why when you first go to a yard on a 180, after you get searched, the first place you go to, straight to the water fountain before you even shake a hand. You go straight to the water fountain, because you just literally just finished lifting your nutsack and spreading your ass cheeks. So nobody's trying to shake anybody's hand. Go to the fucking thing, wash it off with a little bit of soap that's there, and then what's up, homie? It's an fist bump at best. So those who have wheelchairs, they don't go through that whole process. They got rights. They got the whole they got rights, bro. It's in the CDC's book. It's the whole I can't even remember what the anywho, they got rights. If I remember, I'll come back to it. If anybody wants to put it in the comments, the Disabilities Act. There you go. They fall under the Disabilities Act, and CDC can't mess with them. That's a whole lawsuit for them, and they even try to discriminate against them. So this is what this dude fell under. So a homie from Orange County, and keep in mind, this dude's from Orange County, from King Cobra's, the branch off of King Cobra's from LA. So he had a few homies from Orange County that moved out on him. So the homie that shared this story with me, and you guys know that 99% of my stories are from me, but I feel like this story is a great story of caution, and I'm going to keep them coming. He landed there, came straight from the shoe, straight from a pegada from the shoe, landed in there with him. He landed there with him. And for anybody that knows, if you're involved in something, whether you have a cell phone, even fierros, or especially if you're selling dope or whatnot, you're worried about when your celly leaves, moves out on you, your single cell, and you're waiting for a celly, you're worried about who you're going to get because you're apprehensive. You don't know who the fuck's going to come into your cell. So off the top, you don't spill the beans, right? So the homie from OC moved in there with them. And within, I guess, when he moved in there with them, they had been searching the block. Somebody had just got hit. They were searching the cell. They had already hit that block. He moves in there with them. And within a few minutes after he gets uncuffed, gets put in the cell, this dude Trigger tells him, "Hey, what's up, dog? You know, I got a phone. I got dope. I got this. I got fierros." And the homie that told me this is like, same thing I would have thought, like, damn, okay. Why you, the fuck? Case in point, when I first got to know Corcoran, years before this incident happened, and I wasn't there for this anymore, but I landed there with the homie from Eastside Paramount, and my neighbor was from my city. And this dude had a cell phone. He had a fierro, he had a cell phone, he had dope, he had all that. He didn't, and as soon as I walked in there, he's like, "Hey, bro, all due respect, homie, I got a move planned. We're gonna flip flop you," and it took a couple weeks. And it wasn't until like the second week where they're like, "Oh, they couldn't do cell moves," or this finally sat me down, and he kept it fucking straight, discreet, but he finally sat me down and was like, "Look, homie, I got a phone." And it took him a couple of weeks, bro. I came from the shoot, doing the shoot term and everything too. I came from Centinela, did a 15-month shoot, came over there. The homie next door knew what neighborhood I was from and everything. But this is the type of shit that's supposed to be done. Be discreet. And it took a few weeks every day for two weeks every day. That's 15, 16 days. And he probably missed calling his high now, whatnot, you know. So he's probably like, you know what, fuck that. When I would go out to the yard, you know, they got privileges because they're on the mess, so they will stay in. I don't care. I'm out to the yard, bro. I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm trying to program. I just did a shoot term. So probably he got at the homie in the van. It's like, "Hey, bro, you think it's cool if I let this dude know?" And he's like, "Fuck it, let him know." Because I'm pretty sure they had business to handle, you know? So my point is, it took a few weeks for them to fucking enlighten me on it. You know, and I respect that. I respect that because, you know, you just never know who's going to land in your cell. You never know who the placas are going to put in your cell just because they have paperwork at 128G or they say what they say. It don't matter, you know. And so, digressing back, this dude off the top within a few minutes told the homie from Orange County, like, "I got a phone." I'm like, "What the, bro?" Like, what? Anywho, so he's sitting there, and the homie from OC is looking in his cell, and this dude's a hoarder. From what he told me, this dude's a hoarder. You know, he's going to the law library. He's in a wheelchair. This, you know, he's injured supposedly and all that stuff, right? And he catches wind, like I said, that a lot of dudes had already moved out on him. So the homie wasn't having it. He's like, you know what, bro? Check this out, dog. I can't live like this with you. We're gonna have to clean up. And he started going through the cell. This is going. This paperwork right here, boom, it's going. This right here is going. This books are going. This is going. He's like, no, I need that. I need that. What do you need? You don't need that. You know, some dudes just latch onto things that they don't need. I've seen dudes have shit in there for years. Unless it's your pictures, your mail, or a couple of good books, you don't need that shit, bro. You're just accumulating trash, and that's just what it is. So he went in there, he dictated his program, whatnot, and little by little, he started noticing that this dude, he was slanging and everything, right? He was slanging and everything, and dudes weren't paying him. Man. And he was under a señor. And dudes weren't paying him from Cobras. He was under from a señor from Cobras, and nobody was paying him. Another dude in the upper yard landed there, man, from Cobras as well. And he at first reached out to his homeboy before he knew who he was, probably even before he knew he was from Orange County. I don't know. That's not to slight the camaradas from Orange County. I'm not even trying to say that. He's like, hey, I need this. Help me out with this. You know, you're in contact with our señor, this, and that, boom, boom, bam, bam, bam. And eventually he ended up realizing, like, man, he ended up catching wind that everybody's burning this dude. Everybody's burning him. Ain't nobody paying him. And the crazy part was that this dude legitimately was in contact with the señor. He was in contact with the señor from Cobras. And I'm not talking about Artie. Artie had already had his downfall. And this happened after Turi from Cuca and Huero Verde had Corcoran. When I was there, Artie had just happened. Turi from Cuca and Huero from Huero Verde. What if on the duo before they got one of Turi got clipped and Huero both of them got called to the bay. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So homeboy ends up fighting out, bro. And I'm trying to keep the names discreetly as far as the camarada from King Cobras on the upper tier, on the upper yard. I mean, that realized that this dude is just like, he's hearing the rumors and everything. So the homie from Orange County that was Selly, man, started seeing this as well. Everybody was coming to his cell like, hey, let me get a paper, let me get this. Dudes that already owed him. And this dude was just weak, unfortunately, man. And I don't say this to try to like be in high power, try to make this dude look bad or nothing like that. If anything, it's unfortunate, man, because he just didn't have the fortitude. He didn't have the balls. He didn't have what it took to have it in you to be in that position, to be under señor. And unfortunately for him, everybody's seen it. And you know, it spread like wildfire. So this homie from Orange County ended up moving out on him, and but they had issues. Apparently, Trigger tried to say that camarada owed him feria and whatnot. The homie from Orange County was like, what feria, homie? What are you talking about? He didn't bust a grape, whatnot. He got to the point where he let it be known. The homie from Orange County let it be known that fool Trigger, they just didn't like him, bro. He's a weenie. And he just let it be known, like, hey, bro, if this whoever got to get got, I'm right there. I'm there for it. Put me up to bat, you know? And to give you other instances on this, this dude, man, had dudes hitting for him and whatnot. And there was this dude from 18th Street. From 18th Street. I'm so loud from 18th Street. Hit an ounce for him, from what I understand. He hit an ounce of Scante for him. through visit, through whatever, however he had it brought in. And since this dude knew that this dude was a weenie and he wasn't going to press the issue, the whole appearance of him being in a wheelchair. Keep in mind, this dude has mobility. He's just trying to fight a lawsuit. He's trying to fight a lawsuit with CDC and all that. And so a lot of dudes are seeing this dude as weak as shit. But people knew that this dude could freaking stand up and fight for his own, let alone collect his own debts, right? Especially if you have a senor that you have to collect for. It's hot money, right? You're running around saying it's hot money, and you have the authority to go ahead and one dude. All you need is one dude to make an example out of. They don't want to pay you, blast that dude. Come into the cell, boom, let's get our money. That's all he needed to do. But unfortunately, the dude just didn't have it. He just didn't have it in him. So everybody took advantage of him. And that dude burned him for an ounce of scante, the dude from 18th Street. After that, it was probably pretty much the last straw. And they still gave this cat another chance. The man saw everybody that was there. And this is around the time where they were already started letting dudes, they were already letting senores come out from the shoes. From what I understand, New Corcoran was one of the last prisons. Matter of fact, if anything, from what I understand, Papa from Harpies that I was with in Kern Valley, rest in peace. I think he was the first senor. From what I understand, I mean, I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I heard, he was probably one of the first ones, if not the first senor that landed in Sat F around that time. And but I digress. He ended up landing there. This happened when there was no senores, but they were letting out validated members, associates, and things like that. They were coming straight with palabra from the senores. And so a homie from Compton 7-0 lands there. Compton 7-0 lands there. He has a yard, you know, and he pretty much was part of the dudes that were there that gave this dude the last chance. Like, he was fronted an ounce, a straight pedazo, an ounce of dope. Because at this point, this dude was in trouble. Trigger was in trouble, not because he was a drug addict, which is fucking crazy. Crazy, bro. 99.9% that people that for drugs that get in trouble is because they owe money, not because they can't collect. It's fucking crazy. Crazy, especially when they have the blessings of a senor that they're working for. It's just, I just never heard some shit like this, you know? So because he's working for a senor and all that, and they want this dude to redeem himself, he owes money, but he only owes money because of the shit that he sold dudes that he couldn't collect, and the money that he owes the senor from Cobras. P from Cobras. I'm not gonna say his name, but anywho, so yeah, man. What ends up happening? The same shit happens. Same shit happens. Dude couldn't follow through. Nobody wanted to pay him. So it led to this. He needed to go. He needed to go. The homie from 7-0 with the bloquero came up to the homie from Orange County cell and told him, like, hey, what's up, man? Your hand still raised for that? He's like, for what? For Trigger. You said you wanted that. The homie's like, yeah, hell yeah. It's crazy the way he told me. He's like, he was sitting there in paz, a gusto, eating the spread, nice and calm, eating the spread. Right before the porters locked it down, right before 9 o'clock at nighttime. He's eating the spread, watching TV, probably laughing and shit. And he sees the fool that had the yard and the dude that had the block come up to his cell at nighttime. And he already knew that they weren't there for shits and giggles, you know? So that's when they told him, like, you still want to go? Boom. He's like, hell yeah. He's like, hey, my other boy from Orange County is going with me. From the city of Orange. S from the city of Orange. I don't want to say no more. I'll keep their names there. And so sure enough, wheels got into motion. And this dude used to go to medical, as well as law library, things like that. But he was going to medical, ducats. They were able to sign up to go to medical with this cat. The two homies from Orange County to go with Trigger to medical. But unfortunately, and fortunately for Trigger, don't think that because I fortunately and unfortunately that I'm trying to keep in mind, I'm not trying to glorify this shit or nothing. I'm just telling the story. I'm just expressing the story. And for the youngsters out there to know that this is the type of shit that you have to deal with in that mofo, they pull out Trigger first. Obviously, he's in a wheelchair. He has dibs, meaning everything, red carpet, boom. They take him out first, but they signed up for a phone call around the same time that he went to medical ducats. They knew he was going to medical. They signed up for phone calls. My bad. They're out there in the phone calls, bro. The CEO on the tower lets out medical phone calls. They're letting him out there to the point that he's not even the tower's not even locking down the phone calls from before. He lets out the next phone calls, and the two phone calls that are out there, the two shooters are supposed to go on the Halle. They're still out there. So you got 4 dudes running around, dudes in the doors, talking in the doors. For those of you that have been on a 180 or even just anywhere, after your phone call, nobody answers. You go, hey, homie, hey, I got a one time. Send it to 122, 123. You go to the door and you're chilling. And it's not until the tower comes that tells you, hey, lock it down, lock it down. So the 180s is a smaller pod. So, it's easier for the block guy to see you, for the cop to see you. So the cop didn't give a fuck. He's letting them run around, doing their thing, whatnot. Fortunately for Trigger, he stayed in medical long enough for the block guy eventually to be like, hey, after an hour and some change, hey, lock it down. Everybody lock it down. Next phone calls. He had too many dudes out there, locked it down. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. They were trying to get it done on the day room. They don't want to bring heat to the yard, burn us. Corcoran is very notorious, especially if something happens on a yard with fierros. They'll lock you down for three weeks to a month just to search and things like that. If it happens in the building, they'll fucking search the building. Only that building is isolated to the building. So, but if it happens on the yard, everybody that's on the yard from every building, the whole yard gets searched, So I remember that shit. So yeah, yard comes out. They have to take care of it on the yard. And that's just what it is. So and keep in mind, Trigger had already been given the chance to redeem himself, and he wasn't able to follow through, which is crazy to me, man. So after they tried to get him in the day room, it went out to the yard. They were going to get him on the yard, and this is how they got this guys right here is the most important part of the video. And I hope you guys are still here. And those of you guys that are still here, this is the most important part of the video as far as I'm concerned. This shows you the deviousness and the tactics, and the Machiavellian tactics that are employed on the everyday life in that system. And they apply this to everything. The dude that was in a wheelchair, they asked him to bring out 2 fierros to the yard because somebody was going to get hit. Now, at the time, they put out a rumor. That some dude Nappy for Santa Paula. No disrespect to him. I don't know if he's active or not. I don't know. He owed money. He knew that he was a target. But shout out to that cat because he was still on there. And he was still there. He was still there. And he was paranoid. And word on the yard was that Nappy was the one that was going to get hit. And this is the lie that they told Trigger. They told Trigger, hey, Nappy's going to get hit. And my boy, you're in a wheelchair. You don't get searched. Bring this out for the shooters so we can handle this business. Este pendejo. Yeah, I got you. The dude that got hit was the one that brought out his own fucking knives. The dude that got hit by his own knives. He was a knife maker as well. He used to sit there in his cell and make knives. He brought out the knives that got him, that they hit him with. I wish I could be surprised But I've seen so many situations and shit like that happening. It is fucking crazy to me. So the homies from Orange County go out there. The two camaradas from Orange County, the two shooters that are supposed to get triggered, they go out there, and they have to be on their toes as far as not letting this dude catch wind that he's gonna get hit. And they legitimately they're walking laps. They're walking laps, and they ended up getting those two fierros from that dude. They got the two fierros from that dude from Trigger. One of them did. They're walking laps, and then they tell that dude Nappy. They put him to the side. They're like, "Hey, homie, I need you to do us a favor." And then dude Nappy's like, "Hey, homie, be real with me, dog. You guys gonna hit me, huh? You want me to go over there? No, you guys gonna hit me, huh?" It's like, "Look, Dick, we ain't gonna hit you, dog. Do us a favor. Go stand next to Trigger. Go stand next to him, dog. Go stand next to him." Keep in mind, Trigger had heard the same rumor that everybody had heard, that Nappy was the one that was supposed to get hit. Nappy was the one that's supposed to get hit. When in reality, it was Trigger. But the two shooters told Nappy, like, "Hey, go do us a paro. Go stand next to him." That way, when they run up on Trigger, Trigger would think that they're going to Nappy. Took one lap. Nappy was there. They didn't do it for one reason or another. They just seen that this dude was just looking, kept walking, did another lap. By that time, Trigger's like, "Oh, fuck that. I don't want to be here when this fool gets blasted." So Trigger ends up going to the other side, and these dudes are walking a lap. When they were supposed to do it, they didn't realize that Trigger had left to the other side. So they're like, "Fuck, we got to do another lap." So at this point, they're going around, and then they see Trigger, and then Trigger had already had that issue with one of the homies from Orange County, his celly that moved out on him. He's like, "Hey, everything all right? You're good?" He was like, "Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good." That's another thing too, guys. What are you gonna say? "Nah, bro, it's not a right. I'm gonna hit you right now." No, they're trying to. This is all based on deception, bro. Based on deception, bro. Keep that in mind. They're like, "Oh, fuck. Can't do it right now. Let's walk one more lap." Boom. All right, cool. Okay. So he's like, "Everything cool?" You're like, "Yeah, we're good." Boom, boom. Shake hands. Keep walking. So that dude's guard is down. They walk one more lap. Nappy's seen this dude's coming. And, he's probably shitting his pants. But he's right there ready. They pass him. And then when they come around, boom. They finally jump on Trigger. They jump on him and start getting him. This dude jumps off the wheelchair like he's Rocky 5, dog. Rocky Part 5. Fucking so he starts defending himself, of course, starts slinging him, boom, 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 boom. They knock this dude down, start blasting him. Blast him. All said and done, cops come, spray them, spin them apart, whatever. Trigger gets transferred. He gets transferred. He ends up landing in Kern Valley. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. And this video has gone a little long, but I have to finish the story. So I was working as a law library clerk at Kern Valley. And I remember this cat. I remember Trigger. He used to come in the law library once a week, a couple times a week. And I remember him actually asking about the homie from Orange County, because you know what I'm saying? Like, Orange County it's not big geographically, but he's like, "Hey, your homie from Orange County, this and that." And it was two homies from Orange County that got him. And he was from Orange County himself, but he never told me he was from King Cobra from Orange County, and he was still fighting that lawsuit and things like that. And everything ended up catching up to him. Ward ended up reaching Kern Valley, and they ended up hitting him. They ended up hitting him over there, all because he just didn't have it in him. Unfortunately for him, I'm not with that lifestyle or anything like that, but I'm talking about he was trying to slam, but he could never collect. He was trying to be working for the senoras and things like that, but he just didn't have it in him to collect and things like that. And, you know, with that type of shit, you can't play around. They hit him, everything like that. I remember that happening. And where he landed, they ended up killing him. They ended up running into a cell to finish the job once and for all. Remember, this is the third time. This is going to be the third time they went after him. Ended up killing him. This is what I was told. And I remember the story. And another thing too, man, they don't report all the murders. I know for a fact, Kern Valley CDC does not report all the murders. I don't know if it's because they blame it on another, some other cause, or they sweep it under the rug or whatnot. But his name was Manny Paredes. Manny Paredes, bro. Trigger from Orange County, King Cobras. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, bro, that some murders are just not out there, because I know for a fact that I was there when a couple of dudes, even before all these, the count that they have now, 74 murders, 75. I know for a fact, bro, that there's some murders that the media just never caught wind to. So, story of caution. Then that shit ended up catching up to him. He ended up getting murdered, and they have to run up into the cell to get him and do him like they did him, you know, all because he was involved in something that he was never supposed to be involved in, you know. And like I said, a story of caution. I hope you guys like the story. I got another couple good ones coming. As far as like secondhand stories, and I vet my stories thoroughly, and I make sure they come from somebody that was there and is solid enough to know what the hell happened. With that being said, you guys be good. I'm out. I'll see you on the next one, youngsters. This is not the life.